If you want to join the Royal Marines, but you're not really sure which option you should take, in this video, I'm going to go through all the options that are available to you so that you can see which one's right for you. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to show you where you can find a free training program to get fit enough for the military. Okay, we're going to take the military as a whole, because chances are if you're considering the Marines, you've also considered everything else. That's what I did. So we have the RAF, first of all. We don't need to talk about that. The Army and the Navy. Within the RAF, you have a lot of technical roles. So we're going to go technical. You have a lot of technical roles, things like engineer, pilot, very specialist. And for the most part, the lifestyle in the RAF is very similar, generally, to that of a civilian. Aside from the fact, of course, you have to spend time away from home, on trips, on deployments, that kind of thing. So you have your technical roles in the RAF. You then have training roles, physical training instructor. So PTI in the RAF is actually one of the only ones you can join straight from civilian. So if you're someone who's into their fitness and you want a career in the military, but you're not too sure on soldiering and all those kinds of elements, then joining the RAF as a PTI could be good for you. Next, we have RAF Reg, which is the fighting arm or sort of infantry arm of the RAF. To my mind, from what I know, I have no idea why people pick RAF regiments when trying to go for a fighting role or infantry role or whatever, because you have far better options, in my opinion, in the Army or in the Marines, of course, which we'll get into. So if you're joining the RAF, typically it's because you want to do some sort of technical role and you want a little bit more of a relaxed lifestyle. You want to do a PTI role and you want to join straight from a civilian because you want to get straight into that, or you want to join the RAF Reg, and I can't help you there because I don't know why you'd want to do that, to be honest. In the next column, we have the Army. Obviously, we have the infantry, okay? And then we essentially have supporting roles within the Army. So you're looking at things around driving, logistics, signals, those kinds of things. Essentially anything that facilitates this, the combat role. And this is a massive oversimplification, guys. There's obviously more to the armed forces than this. So I'm just thinking if you're making a decision as to which one to join, these are the things to consider. So you have a supporting role and infantry role. Typically, if you're going to go infantry, it's for one of two reasons. You either didn't get any qualifications, so no GCSEs, am I right? Could be the case. Or just that this role, the supporting element, so going and doing logistics, going and doing whatever, just doesn't interest you and you want something a little bit more forward-facing, a little more active, a little bit more challenging, for want of a better word. And then you might choose the infantry. The other role you have within the infantry, I'm going to draw a line to it here, because it's slightly different, is the paras, okay? Obviously the paras is a branch of the infantry, and they're essentially your elite force within the Army, okay? So they're within the Army and they're your elite kind of force. The reason why you would choose them is if the infantry does interest you, but you want to go to the top couple of percentage. You're someone who wants to push the boundaries, someone who wants to challenge themselves, and the paras would really interest you in that case. So you like what the Army's about, you think that's for you, and you also want the infantry role, then the paras is probably where you want to be. Okay, finally we have the Navy, and similar to the RAF over here with the technical roles, but again in a very different form. Obviously you're going to spend more time on ship, you're going to spend probably more time away from home if you're doing any naval technical roles. So we have the technical, and then we have the Marines, which out of all of these, to be transparent, is the only one I have any first-hand experience in. So if we look at all of these options, we have a fair few, and the military really can provide a career path to a lot of different people. So to summarise a bit of that before we move into the next piece, the RAF, the Navy, and the Army sort of support roles would be someone who's essentially not looking to go into a combative role, but you just choose your poison, essentially, between the RAF, between the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army, depending on what kind of thing you want to spend your time doing. Do you want to spend more time on ship? Do you want to spend more time on air bases, essentially? Or are you inherently interested in aviation? Or do you just want to join the Army because that's what interests you? Then if you've got the knack or the urge to go infantry, you're going to want to be looking at the standard infantry, paras, or the Marines. And if you want to go PTI, obviously you can do that within the other two, but RAF PTI is the only one you can go from civilian, so that's what I'm covering there. In terms of the Marines, why would you choose the Royal Marines? So the reason I chose it and the reason you'll choose it is probably slightly different, or it should be. But you want the challenge, you like travel, okay? Challenge, travel, You've also got an interest in the infantry. You've also probably got a vested interest in fitness. You're also relatively fit. So those would be a couple of reasons why you might choose the Marines. There are obviously loads more, okay, if you want to follow in the footsteps of your father, whatever, or if it just interests you for some other reason. But these are just a couple of considerations. I'm going to contextualize it in a different way. Okay, so hopefully you can ignore my terrible diagram. But if we had a Venn diagram of what makes you interested in, let's say, the Marines or the Paras, or just, again, one of those more elite ones that it's going to be a few less of you wanting to do. Really, we want to be interested in challenge. We want to be interested in fitness, for sure. Probably want to be interested in some sort of brotherhood. Okay, and for me, if we're checking those boxes, that's where, you know, RM can sit in the middle. And that's someone who would be best suited to joining the Marines. If you're interested in challenge, and by challenge, I mean real challenge, okay, not bullshit. I mean, you are, if you're going to go down this route or go down the Para route or whatever, you're going to be significantly challenged. So this needs to be legit. Obviously, you need to be fit, so you need to have an interest in that. And look, if you want help preparing for any of these forces, be it the Marines or the Paras or anything in the military, click the link in the description and we can help you out. And then brotherhood, because it's such a massive part of it. Community is a massive part of joining any of these things. So these three interests, if they can meet in the middle, then I think you're in a pretty good spot to be interested in the Marines. One last point I wanted to cover is the intricacies as it relates to choosing these things. So let's say we've chosen our avenue. We've chosen the Marines, chosen the Paras, we've chosen something within the military. We then need to ask ourselves a few questions. Are we going to go full-time, so regular? Are we going to go officer? Or are we just going to be a bod? Okay. So again, what makes this decision? Full-time, typically, if you've got minimal responsibilities, you want that full-time aspect, you haven't got a job that you really, really like on the outside, then it's going to make a lot of sense. The alternative to that is reservist. Obviously, if you are someone who really enjoys their job, has something on the outside, has a family, kids, etc., probably going to want to choose reserve, to be honest, or at least explore that avenue. Whether you want to go officer or just a bod, a couple of things you need to consider here. What do you want out of the career? What do you want your day-to-day, your week-to-week to look like when you're actually in the job? Very important. If you think about an officer's job, it's going to be primarily planning-based. It'll be a lot of leadership, obviously, and it's just going to look very, very different to someone who's just in as a general bod. So again, just a different sort of situation, a different set of circumstances, a different type of individual that it's going to attract. And if you're not too bothered about that, you just want the experience, you just want to be in with the lads, in with the boys, doing the actual work, doing the kind of work you're imagining you're going to be doing when you're joining the Marines or joining whatever, then just joining as a regular is a regular bod is probably the way to go. Guys, if you've made it this far, I do massively appreciate it. So you guys, if you click the second link in the description, then it'll take you to a free program that we've created for you to essentially give you some structure for 4 weeks to create a robust physique. So any of these that we're moving towards, it's going to help you out. And if you did enjoy that video, you did find some value in it, then please like, comment, subscribe, all those kind of things. And I'll see you in the next one.